Hello, I'm Lane. In this video, I'd like to talk about inverse functions. The problems in this topic look like this, and the picture that I have behind me, my chair is kind of in the way, but this is meant to represent an inverse function. So if f is a function, then its inverse is written like this, f with a kind of an exponent -1. And the function f takes x values and maps them to values in the range of the function. And the inverse function does the opposite. So it takes values over here from the range and maps them to values in the domain. So let's take a look at this problem here. The first thing that we need to do is we need to find g inverse of 0. So the function g is right here, right? If we were going to find g of 0 like this, then we would look for what point has the x value 0, right? This one does. And so g of 0 would be 3. And this g of 0 equals 3. That corresponds to that point, 0, 3, right? What they're asking us for is g inverse of 0. So to find g inverse of 0, we need to look for the point over here that has the y value 0, which is this point. G inverse of 0 is 4. And so this corresponds to the point 4, 0. All right. So that's going to be our answer for this part. Next, we need to find h inverse of x, and we need to find the value of this composition of two functions. So let's work on this one. To find the inverse of this function h, this is how I would do that. I would write, instead of writing h of x, I would write y. Y equals 6x plus 13. Okay, so this is the function h. Now, if we switch the x and the y like this, now this is the inverse function. This is h inverse. And we need to solve for y so that we can write it in the form that they want, which is like this. So to solve this for y, what do we need to do? We need to get y by itself, and so we should start by moving the 13 over to the other side. So we'll subtract 13 from both sides. On the left-hand side, now we're going to have x minus 13, and on the right-hand side, because those two cancel out, we'll have 6y. Then the last step to get y by itself is to divide both sides by 6, right? And so y equals x minus 13 over 6 is h inverse, and we can write that h inverse of x is x minus 13 over 6. So that's what we're going to put right here for this answer. Now for this next one, h inverse of h of -1, right? Another way to write this would be like this. These are two ways of writing the same thing. The answer for this problem is going to be -1. And the reason for this is we're taking -1, like if we were going to evaluate this, we could plug -1 into h, and then we would take the result and plug it into h inverse. But what would happen would be, so we're starting with, imagine that instead of f and f inverse down there, it was h. So we're starting with -1, that's our x value. We're plugging it into h, and we're getting a y value of the function. And then we're going to take that y value and plug it into the inverse function. So that would take us back over to that same x value, which is -1. So that's going to be -1. Let's plug these answers in. We've got 4, then we've got a fraction, x minus 13 over 6, and then we've got negative 1 down here. Okay, it says we got it correct. Good deal. Let's do another problem. Let's start right here with this second one. This is kind of like the last problem part that we did in the previous example. It's going to be 0. Okay. The next one that I want to talk about is g inverse of x. This problem right here. Okay, so g of x is x minus 3 over 11. So we could write for the function g, y equals x minus 3 over 11. Okay, this is for the function g. To write the inverse function, all we have to do is change the x and the y, or swap their places. So x equals y minus 3 over 11. This is the function g inverse. Now, that's the function g inverse, but that's not what we plug in right here. What we need to do is we need to solve this for y, because g inverse of x means y if we're talking about the function g inverse. So we need to solve this equation right here for y. So we need to leave y on the right-hand side and move things over. The first thing we should do is we should multiply both sides by 11, and we would get 11x equals y minus 3. And then if we add 3 to both sides, we'll have y by itself, right? Y equals 11x plus 3. And that is the inverse function for g. 11x plus 3 is going to go right here. Okay, for this last one, this last one's talking about the function h, which is written as a set of ordered pairs right here. The value of h inverse of h is going to be the x value of the point that has the y value 8. So we look in this list for where is the y value 8. And that's right here. That's where the y value is 8. That's where the 8 is in the second position. So our answer here is going to be the x value of that point, which is negative 4. All right. Don't look at this point, because this point would tell us information about h of 8. This problem's asking us about h inverse of 8. So we look for where is the y value 8. All right, let's put those answers in. We've got it right, and we'll do another example. This first one is asking us of something about this function g. It says, what's g inverse of 5? So we look for where is the y value 5, right? X comma y. So the y value is the number in the second place. This point, negative 9, 5, has the y value 5, and so negative 9 is g inverse of 5. Okay, this last one, our answer is going to be 3. There are problems in this topic, that's always going to be the case. You just take this number, and that's your answer. To find the inverse of h, we should start by writing y equals, and then we copy down the function h, which is negative 2x plus 3. So this is the function h right here. Then to write the function h inverse, we swap the places of x and y. So x equals negative 2y plus 3. This is the function h inverse, but we need to solve it for y. So we should subtract 3 from both sides. X minus 3 is on the left, negative 2y is on the right. Now we can divide by negative 2 to get the y by itself. So x minus 3 over negative 2 is the h inverse of x. So let's put that answer in. Okay, and we'll check to make sure that that's correct. And it is. Awesome. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'm going to put some links up here to other videos in this objective. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.